Hey, y'all, welcome back to Mountain Murders. Kind of in the middle of the week.
Oh, that's the new title.
I'm Heather.
And I'm Dylan.
Hey, Dylan.
What up, girl?
How are you today?
I'm doing great.
I'm great as well. Just found out we got to get a plumber out here. You know, it's just like never ending.
Yes, I know. And it makes me really glad that I rent. Right?
Well, there's that.
Pros and cons to everything, right, folks?
I'm just thinking of, I know a lot of folks are in the same boat. It just feels like you take hit after hit after hit. But you know what, Dylan? We keep shining. We keep showing up every day. And it's the pendulum's got to swing the other way, right?
Well, statistically speaking, it has to break your way one day, you know, or sooner or later. And, you know, there's one thing about it.
Well, Annie did say the sun will come out tomorrow.
Yeah. And then you have 4 days of rain. So, you know, what does Annie know? No, but really, it's not how many times you get hit. It's whether or not you get back up.
Yeah, because you know, I get knocked down, I get back up again.
You know, I just look at life.
Like a 90s song.
And I'll smile and I spit blood and I say, please, may I have another.
You're Rocky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
You go punch a big side of meat or something. Yeah.
And I'll be like, hey, Heather. Hey.
Hey, yo.
Yo, Heather. No. All right. So here we are in the middle of the week. Let's just call it that. And there's a lot going on. So what are we going to talk about?
There is a lot going on, Dylan. You actually had a bit of an update for us. So would you like to kick off the episode telling us your bit of news that you've recently learned today?
Yes. It appears that this was one of the more notable things that stuck out to me this week. Karen Reed will be back in court. And what for, you might ask, since being basically exonerated of all the major charges that were against her, now there's going to be a civil lawsuit against her.
Dylan, I have to ask you, in these cases, oftentimes high-profile cases, I think of O.J. and the Goldman family and Nicole Brown Simpson's family. I think of the Kendrick Johnson case. These crimes or these homicides, or maybe even suspected homicides, even if it's not ruled a homicide, a lot of times families will go after someone in a civil court. They'll file a lawsuit.
Yes.
Wrongful death, that kind of thing. Now, how do you feel about that? Do you think that's the right thing to do? Do you think it's fair? Like, what are your feelings about it?
Well, as many of us know, that the bar for guilt and proof of evidence is much lower in a civil case than it is in a criminal case. And, you know, it's really, I have mixed feelings about it because in some instances, OJ, for example, I think the family was well within their rights and rightfully so to go after him civilly because I think he did it, right? I mean, I think it really, in my mind, comes down to whether or not I think that the defendant in the criminal trial is truly guilty or not, and if they kind of got off on a technicality or, if you will, got away with it. Yeah, so her boyfriend's, gosh, his name, I always forget his name, and I apologize.
Is it O'Keefe?
Yes, Mr. O'Keefe's family.
Is that right?
Yes, I believe you're correct.
It's like a very Irish name.
Mine's like a steel trap. They are suing Karen Reed for wrongful death, and they're also suing, I think, 2 different bars where she was being served alcohol. So that could be interesting.
Now, you also told me that Karen has her own lawsuits coming.
Karen's got her a big old litigious bag, and she's about to unleash it on some state police.
Okay.
I guess most notably the one who was let go for defaming her and violating her civil rights in her lawyer's terms. You know, putting out the terrible text messages that were brought forth in court about her, very unprofessional. And it's interesting. I heard a case on Dateline, and of course I'll be short on details right quick. There's a whole nother case, a poor young lady who, at first they said maybe suicide, but later on they thought otherwise, happened in the same time as Karen Reed in the same area. And her case involves some of the same members of state police and stuff. She was actually like a part of a police. You know how they'll do like the civil or the civilian thing where you can kind of
Oh,
do
like a civilian police academy?
Yeah, where you can kind
of volunteer,
Yes.
do ride-alongs, that sort of thing?
Yes, she was very interested in possibly going into law enforcement.
Okay.
But she was just a little thing, like, gosh, I don't know, 4'11" or something like that. Little tiny girl. And all this salacious stuff came out eventually about other deputies who were part of the program having sexual relations with her. And one of them even allegedly when she was like 15 or 16 years old. So, I mean, I think it really points to there quite possibly seems to be a significant culture issue maybe in those police, the state police there.
Well, I don't necessarily think it's just within the Massachusetts State Police, because I think that is a problem in a lot of law enforcement agencies.
I agree. Once again, it's one of those institutions where people have power and control and just prestige, and they often, sometimes, I shouldn't say often, sometimes some of the officers or people connected use that to take advantage of people.
Well, I know just in our small town, I had a connection to a member of law enforcement, and the stories, the gossip, the rumors that I would hear about sleeping with other cops' wives and the cheating, and I mean, and it just seemed out of control. There was a lot of rumors and gossip, and so and of course you can't always believe what you hear, but I do believe that is maybe a cultural thing in a lot of departments.
Yeah, and I've heard I used to work with someone who was a sheriff's deputy for many years, and he said, I guess that some women kind of have a thing for
badge bunnies.
They're
called badge bunnies.
They have a thing for a guy in uniform, be it a police or a fireman, or they
a Marine,
have their preference.
Yeah.
But that seems to really be a thing that that they kind of go after. I mean, it's her life or whatever. But and you told me more about how it's kind of floats around in a big circle. They're all connected, know each other. I don't know. It's kind of strange to me.
It's very strange to me as well. But I mean, I guess in any kind of insular community, and we'll just say like the law enforcement community, anytime you have this sort of insular community, you're spending a lot of time together, you're running the same circles. I think maybe you get that. I mean, I'm sure it's not just law enforcement. It's probably common in a lot of other. It's common in the military. There's a lot of adultery in the military. So again, I think maybe it's just in these sort of insular communities.
Well,
things happen.
Beware the badge bunnies.
We talk about cheating a lot on this show. You're cheating hard.
We'll set you free.
All right, Dylan, let's move along. Okay, we got Karen Reed. She's being sued. She's suing people. Everybody's being sued. Everybody being sued up in here. Hide your wife, hide your kids. They go get sued.
They suing everybody out here.
They suing everybody.
I might sue somebody.
Who are you going to sue?
I'm not sure yet.
I'm going to sue you for like mental stress.
Oh, you don't have any evidence of that.
You stress me out.
You don't have.
I have so much evidence of that, Dylan. Let's get into today's podcast. We have got a lot to discuss as far as crime news, and I have our main story for the day. Not our main story, but like we're going to open the show with this because it's a weird but true story.
Okay.
All right, we have to discuss. A dumpster diving raccoon got trashed.
Oh my gosh.
When Kentucky nurse Misty Combs headed into work at the Letcher County Health Department in Whitesburg, Kentucky, she did not expect one of her patients that day to be a wild animal. And, she's had some pretty crazy days on the job, but nothing like this. So Combs and her coworker heard a bit of a ruckus happening in the dumpster that's located out in their parking lot behind this health department. And as they approached, they noticed there was a panicked raccoon attempting to rescue two of her pups that were trapped inside this. Well, I guess she was trying to rescue the two pups, right? They're trapped inside this dumpster. And this health department is located next to Kentucky Mist Moonshine, which is a distillery. And they had put some fermented peaches in to this dumpster, and the baby raccoons had gotten into the dumpster and were unable to get out. Now, this nurse had a bit of a motherly instinct, and she knew she had to help get this raccoon mama's babies out the dumpster.
Would you help? Would you help a wild animal in a situation like this?
Well, of course.
Yeah, if I could, I would try.
So she saw that Mama was trying really hard to get her babies, and she didn't know what to do. Combs grabs a shovel. She scoops out the first baby raccoon, who ran to its mama. Oh, how cute. They're reunited. But the second raccoon was face down in the bottom of the dumpster. It's filled with water and moonshine-soaked peaches. The nurse grabs the raccoon by the tail and pulls it to safety, and then she realizes it's unresponsive. Everybody around is telling her it's dead, it's not breathing, it's drowned, it's full of water. I mean, she's like, you could feel the water. So she immediately starts doing CPR on this baby raccoon.
Oh
now,
my
not
gosh.
mouth to mouth,
Right.
before you ask, but she's performing CPR on this poor little raccoon.
She's doing compressions.
Well, a coworker takes a video, which is now a viral video. It has made its rounds all over social media, of Combs performing compressions on this little raccoon's chest. She's flipping it on its side. She's slapping its back. She's trying to bring this little guy back to life, right? She has never performed CPR on an animal, and she's been a nurse for 21 years, I should mention. So she's a very seasoned nurse. She knows what she's doing. But she could not, in the moment, let this go. She had to save this poor animal's life. She's a nurse, after all, and an animal lover, so she's like, I gotta help this little guy.
So does it start spitting up peaches or something?
Well, eventually it begins breathing, but she was a little reluctant because the entire time she was afraid it was going to, come to and then maybe attack her. And we know raccoons sometimes have rabies, so she was concerned about that. The Fish and Wildlife ended up responding and took the animal to a local veterinarian who administered fluids and got the raccoon sober. So it seems this little guy was drunk in the bottom of this dumpster.
Well, this happens in nature sometimes. You'll have like a apple tree or something. I've seen drunk bears. They'll have, that time of year when all the apples have fallen or plums or something like that, and they start kind of rotting and fermenting and naturally, and they'll just munch down on all that, and next thing you know, they're toasted, taking their shirt off.
Well, Combs and her coworkers have decided to name the little guy Otis Campbell after the town drunk character on the Andy Griffith Show, and the raccoon was later returned to the parking lot behind the health department, where it was released back into the wild. Perhaps it can go reunite with its mama and little siblings.
It's like it came back from rehab.
Well, it's funny, Dylan, that you mentioned the alcoholic, the fermented animals and alcoholic bears. Okay, because a study recently revealed that chimps consume the equivalent of 2 alcoholic drinks per day.
Really?
Because they're eating fermented fruit in their native habitats, and they consume the equivalent of 2 alcoholic drinks per day. And this was based on a research team. They published their findings in the journal Science Advances. They analyzed 21 species of fruit regularly eaten by chimps in Uganda and the Ivory Coast to measure the alcohol content.
So they're drinking every day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Across all sites, male and female chimpanzees are consuming about 14 grams, which is a half an ounce of pure ethanol per day in their diet, which again is the equivalent to, 1 American drink. So when you adjust for body weight and all that, because chimps, can weigh about 88 pounds and a human weighs about 154 pounds, that goes up to 2 drinks for the chimps.
Oh, okay. Damn, they put a lot of math into this.
They did. So there you go.
Now, could you imagine somebody's parents putting them through all this highfalutin school for all these years, and that's what they get out of it? They actually figure out they did all the calculations and studying.
Wouldn't you be proud? I'd be proud. I'm proud of my kid no matter what.
And figured out that wild chimps and baboons are drinking basically every day.
Dylan, all of us celebrated the first time our kid took a poop in the potty. So, we're parents, and we'll celebrate all the success.
Okay.
Okay?
I like that. You have their back.
We got their back. Now, I'm just curious, law enforcement did not card this this raccoon. Clearly he was underage.
Nor the establishment, the dumpster that served him.
Well, that raccoon mama, she could file a civil suit against the distillery.
There you go.
Some legal action might happen there. Okay, Dylan, we got a lot to talk about here today. Do you remember several months ago we discussed Erin Patterson, the woman from Australia who was nicknamed the Mushroom Murderer?
Oh, no, I don't recall.
She served her in-laws a meal of beef Wellington laced with poisonous mushrooms.
Intentionally?
Yes.
Wow.
I cannot believe you don't recall this. This was a huge story, and we discussed it.
Honey, I'm sorry.
More than once.
I don't recall anything.
I see that. Okay. Well, this woman has gone to court. She's been convicted of killing 3 of her estranged husband's relatives with toxic mushrooms. A judge sentenced her to life in prison with a non-parole period of 33 years. The sentence on Monday came after a jury found Erin Patterson guilty of killing her mother-in-law and her father-in-law, Gail and Donald Patterson, and Gail's sister, Heather Wilkinson, by serving them beef Wellington. This was for lunch, and she had laced it with these death cap mushrooms. The 50-year-old was also convicted of attempting to murder Wilkinson's husband, Ian, who spent weeks in the hospital, but he did survive. Patterson's estranged husband, Simon, was invited but did not attend the July 2023 luncheon served at her home. She lives about 84 miles southeast of Melbourne in a town called Leongatha.
Now, how in the world did she think she was going to get away with this?
I don't know, but I remember when this first broke, she claimed that she had bought these mushrooms from some kind of market.
Oh, okay, I see. So her plan was to, oh my gosh, this is a terrible accident.
Yes. So she will be 81 years old before she can be considered for release.
Damn, what a horrible thing to do.
She'd even made her own plate, kind of color-coded plate, so she would not eat the poisonous mushrooms.
Oh, wow. What a devious person.
What a devious person. You are absolutely correct. So let's get into some more stories. Dylan, this is very troubling. In Kansas City, an elderly worker aged 66 was ruthlessly attacked by a teenager who asked... So this elderly worker asked this teenager to change seats during an NBA Youngboy concert. And this teenager became so enraged that he threw this elderly man to the ground and began attacking him during this concert, while all these people just kind of stood around and watched the assault unfold, and not nary a one of them jumped in or tried to help. People were just standing around watching and or recording.
Look, I saw this video. I did catch this one. He was asking him he was in the wrong seat. A 14-year-old kid, right, is in the wrong seat. And obviously it's been brought to the usher or whatever, the attendant's attention. And he goes to tell him to, you need to move to your right section. And this kid attacks him like a freaking animal and starts waylaying this poor old man. And the people are just standing around recording, and some you can even hear basically cheering the kid on. And I just want to know,
what the fuck is wrong with you?
Why in the world do you see this? I'm sorry, it's more frequent than it was when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Most children, young people, did not act like this.
No, not at all. You know why? Because we got our asses beat.
Well, and we had a healthy respect for adults.
Well, that too.
And,
yeah, because we got our asses beat.
And we've talked about this before. Even if it's an adult you didn't know, a stranger in a store or in a neighborhood, and you were up to, into some shenanigans, and they told you to cut it out, or I'm going to find out who your mom and dad is, you listened to them.
Yeah,
you
sure
didn't start cussing them or try to attack them.
No, not at all. I don't understand. Well, this elderly man, again, was thrown to the ground. His name is Thomas Schlange. He's 66 years old, and he was working at this rap concert at the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City Sunday night when he asked this teenager to move because the teenager was sitting not in his assigned seat. And then, of course, this teen is just assaulting him until finally a Good Samaritan helps get the man to safety. But the elderly man doesn't really remember much from the assault.
Oh my God! Well, that right there proves you there's some type of significant head injury.
Yeah. I don't know what is wrong with these kids. Parents, I think parenting is a big problem. I don't know what the fuck y'all doing your kids out there. But you ain't teaching them right from wrong, and they have zero respect for authority.
And simple rules. I mean, why is it so hard? When you buy a ticket, it says your assigned seat on it, dude.
How many times have we gone to a movie and someone's sitting in our seat?
Yeah,
I mean, it's really aggravating.
They act like assigned seating at the movies or something, or a concert or something's
It's
new
a foreign concept.
a new concept, and it's not. It's been that way for as long as I can remember.
Well, the thing is, people pay a lot of money for certain seats.
Right.
Right? And usually the good seats, the good sections are more expensive. So if you're going and sitting there, one, that's probably somebody else's seat. And two, like, those tickets cost a hell of a lot more probably than what you paid.
Right.
So it's just not fair.
And look, if you are doing that, like trying to, upgrade yourself, if you will, and then someone comes up, hey, you're in my seat. Oh, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. And you know what you're doing. You know it's not your seat. You clear out and go back to wherever your seat's at, or, get out of the way. Instead of wanting to show out like this. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't understand. Well, police did arrest the teenager after this violent outburst on Sunday night, and he was released to his parents. Authorities are still investigating. The teen is under the age of 16, so it's not really clear what charges the juvenile may face. But this elderly man was hospitalized with non-life-threatening injuries. He already suffered glaucoma, and one of his eyes may suffer more damage, his family says. They actually created a GoFundMe page to help with some of the medical expenses. I mean, this is just shocking.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it really is.
The elderly man has worked 2 decades on this job and has never been a victim of such a violent assault at work, has never imagined that he would be. I don't know. I mean, the thing is, and this is what he says, and I totally agree with him. He says, quote, "The message is, we as young adults or people growing into adulthood, we need to learn how to control our anger." And that's it, bud. No impulse control and no, they're very emotionally immature.
Right.
They do not know how to control their impulses or keep their emotions in check. And
I also think that both of those things are very true. But I also think there's an element of kind of showing out for the internet in a lot of these cases. And I personally think that kid should get way more than a slap on the wrist. This is violence. This isn't breaking a window, or some stupid property damage from, screwing around with your friends in an abandoned lot. This is not usual kid shenanigans. Attacking someone violently. And if you saw the video, Heather, you would be blown away.
I don't want to see it.
Because he flings him down and he is just going and going. And I would not stand by. I couldn't stand by and watch this. If I seen that 14-year-old kid would have got fucking flung. I'm sorry. Just to get off of him. What are you doing? It's crazy.
Well, see, that's the thing, though. If another adult stepped in, then it would be, oh, he's a kid. Oh. I mean, we've seen these videos where, groups of teenagers, young people, will surround an adult and be attacking the adult. And if the adult fights back, then the adult's the bad guy.
Right.
Because, oh, gosh, how could you hit a kid? Well, I'm telling you about it. If a kid's attacking me, I'm going to hit that kid back.
Oh, my God, dude. I'm telling you right now, I would kick that kid so they would find out about old man strength, adult strength, because they think they're little badasses.
Yeah, I see you poking your little chest out.
I'm trying to tell you, man. What?
You strut around like a little rooster with your chest out ever since you started working out.
Well, no.
You're bench pressing.
Look.
You're really proud of your shoulders and chest. You just wanting to strut around and chest butt somebody.
Look. In all seriousness, anymore, I can't put my chest away. I can't.
That's how I felt all these years, too.
I can't retract it.
Now you understand how I feel.
Yeah.
These double Ds. I can't put this chest away.
I feel like I'm leading the feminist movement, chin up, tits out.
Even when you're trying to, cover these puppies up.
Mm-mm. There ain't no hiding.
Everything's slutty when you've got double D's, right? Okay, so we got to talk about this, Dylan, because, well, it's a crime story and it's a little out there. So the man who was accused of trying to assassinate President Donald Trump last year at his golf course tried to stab himself in the neck on Tuesday after a jury found him guilty, according to the Associated Press.
Yeah, and this is not even about being political, but I get the feeling that this guy seriously has something wrong with him.
Yeah, I think so.
I think he's a whack job.
Well, again, it's not about being political. It's just that it's a crime story, and I
No.
thought it was quite odd, and we should talk about it.
No, and everything I've seen about that guy or any interactions.
Ryan Routh.
Yes, he is. The guy's not right, and I hope for everyone's protection that he just goes to jail and is kept away from other inmates. Because I honestly think a guy like this, he's going to have issues in jail. You know what I mean? He's not going to stop.
Well, Routh was found guilty on all counts in the September 15th, 2024 assassination attempt, during which Trump was unharmed. Trump was a presidential candidate at the time, and he had survived a separate attempt on his life 2 months earlier in Butler, Pennsylvania.
You want to hear a little tidbit about this case you're talking about? They tracked him. They realized for quite some time he had been kind of scoping the property out. You know how they figured this out? They followed a trail of Vienna sausage cans.
Are you kidding?
No, it's a true story.
Man, some little Viennas.
You got to take the trash with you, bud.
Viennies. Now, after the juries exited the courtroom, Routh attempted to stab himself in the neck with a pin, and this prompted marshals to drag him out of the courtroom. His daughter, Sarah, started screaming, "Dad, I love you. Don't do anything. I'll get you out." And then started screaming he didn't hurt anybody. There was no sign of blood on his shirt as he was escorted out of the courtroom in shackles. Just wild stuff.
I didn't hurt anybody. I didn't get a good shot. What? I mean...
Well, I'm sorry.
You're hanging out with a gun.
Here's the thing.
I mean, dude, what are you doing?
Again, it doesn't matter who the president is. I don't care if it's Trump or Reagan or Bush or Jimmy Carter, Bill Clinton. If you try to assassinate a president or a presidential candidate, you're going to go to jail.
Right.
Hello.
There's no way around it.
So, I don't know what this deal is. We have to let him go. He didn't do anything. Well, he kind of did.
He couldn't even hurt himself.
Now, Dylan, this is a story that is going to warm your heart. Not really. So a South Carolina teaching assistant was arrested for allegedly releasing fart spray, which caused $55,000 in damage and made students physically sick.
Oh, my God.
What? Okay. What the hell is fart spray?
Okay, I don't know if it has actual use, but I've seen people prank each other with it. It usually comes in little tiny, looks like the little car air freshener bottles. And it smells like a really bad fart. And you kind of spray it out. It's kind of like the deer urine thing people would do, But I'm trying to figure out. Now, I'll tell you, look, if you want a good laugh after you listen to this episode, look up people spraying that. You ever seen those inflatable suits people wear? It looks like a character or something.
Like a big dinosaur or
something.
It's
got a little fan going.
Yeah.
And it's got an intake vent. People will walk up and either actually really fart in that or spray the spray and it goes inside the suit. And then the people in the suit lose their mind.
People have too much free time.
It's freaking hilarious watching them thrash around inside those suits.
Well, I'm sure it's not hilarious if you're in the suit.
No, not at all. But I'm trying to figure out, okay, I don't know if the teacher thought this was funny.
Well, we'll finish. Discussing. If you'll let me finish, then you can. Okay.
$55,000 in damages. How do you do that?
32-year-old Alexander Lewis allegedly used this spray multiple times at West Florence High School between the dates of August 25th and September 19th, and it created this foul odor and caused respiratory issues for some students. And Florence is located in Florence County, South Carolina.
Okay.
It's kind of close. It's not too far from the coast.
Okay, so
right, about an hour from the coast or something?
Hot and muggy.
Yeah. So this man has been arrested for creating this foul odor at the school. He got the spray from the internet, and it was designed to, quote, imitate fecal odor. Authorities reported that the children required medical attention for respiratory issues, and the school also had to pay $55,000 in inspection and damage fees for their air conditioning system as a result of this incident.
Oh, gosh.
He was charged with disturbing schools and malicious injury to property with a value of over $10,000. He was arrested on Saturday the 20th. Now, according to students, they reported smelling a strong gas-like odor throughout the school. It left them feeling nauseous, dizzy, and many of them suffered headaches. Parents also reported that their kids stayed home as a result of the effects of the spray. Kids are saying that every time they would go to certain stairwells or classes, teachers were covering their noses, coughing because of the smell, and you just couldn't escape it.
Oh my God, how much did he spray? Well, I mean, I don't know if he thought this was funny or what, but I mean...
One parent says that her son had spent about 3 days in a row with headaches, and that it was very concerning because it's definitely affecting her child's health.
Okay, so it's called fart spray, which is going to make everybody giggle, but at the end of the day, it's some kind of weird chemical X. Who knows what in the world's in it to make it smell bad, right? I mean, there's no telling what's in it. And, I mean, this is ridiculous. I just don't understand. Because, look, I mean, if you sprayed it once here and there, it's not going to do all this.
No.
So, I mean, I don't know if this was intentionally introduced into the ductwork or what, but this guy really took this way, way too far.
It's very bizarre. Very bizarre.
And I don't know what defense you would have against this short of, well, at least I wasn't molesting them, maybe? Sorry, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, you make a valid point, Dylan. Moving along, since we love to talk about Murder Beach, South Carolina. Florence isn't too far from Murder Beach. A 29-year-old woman remains in jail in Horry County, accused of shooting a man who refused to pay for sex, according to arrest warrants.
Now, me and you discussed this case just a little bit when you saw it the other day, and I had mixed feelings because who are you to not pay the prostitute for sex, right? For services rendered. I think you should.
You make a deal.
You make a deal, you stick to it. And if you don't, you might get shot by a prostitute.
Myrtle Beach police arrested Kelsey Lynn Miller on Thursday. This was last week, Thursday, by the way, after the shooting at the Polynesian Oceanfront Hotel. She's charged with attempted murder, prostitution, possession of a controlled substance, and possession of a weapon during the commission of a violent crime. So around 3:40 a.m. on Thursday, officers responded to the 1000 block of South Ocean Boulevard after getting a shot spotter alert about gunfire in the area. Now, ShotSpotter is a sensor-based system that detects gunshots in real time and alerts law enforcement.
Oh, my God.
Which is awesome, but it's also a little scary that you need that in a vacation town.
It's scary that you had to spend, I'm sure that's not a cheap system, and you had to go to those lengths to track gunshots in a beach town.
Now, according to warrants, Miller and the man had been communicating on Reddit, Telegram, and via text message. They had agreed to meet at this motel, and once they were inside the motel room, she asked, "Bitch, where my money?" No, she asked where her money was.
Oh, she's getting paid up front.
Right. She's like Rihanna. She's like, "Bitch, better have my money." And the man told her, "I don't have enough money, and I'm not going to pay you for sex." And she said, "Well, if you don't give me my money, I'll go get my man."
Oh, she threatened to go get the pimp.
Yeah. As the man turned to leave, the warrant said Miller shot him at point-blank range in the tricep area of his left arm. When officers arrived, they found the man with an improvised tourniquet on his upper left arm, and he had blood on his hands. He was taken to the hospital. We don't really have any information about his condition, but I'm assuming it's not life-threatening, right? Non-life-threatening injury.
Oh, my God. He was using the condom as a tourniquet, I bet. Look, so this guy... Okay, you're participating in the black market. That's what this is, be it drugs, be it sex for sale. And so you already were going to have some kind of a problem if you didn't have, I'm sure process had been discussed. You don't have the money. What are you doing? And now, imagine if he's sneaking around on his family or wife or
Now she gonna know.
girlfriend.
You
Now
have to
you done.
explain that shit.
Now you've caught up in a case where you done been shot. And how are you going to explain that? And now the story's everywhere.
I just don't know how you make plans to meet up with a prostitute and refuse to pay them, because what do you think's going to happen?
Exactly.
She's not going to have sex with you, right?
No.
You owe her money. She's there for the money.
And she may get mad. And I'm not saying what she did was right.
Well, no.
It wasn't at all. But I mean, you're just asking for trouble.
Yeah, anytime you're dealing with pimps and shit.
Yeah.
Dangerous stuff. I watch a lot of soft white underbelly on YouTube. I know about pimps and hoes.
Oh, yeah, they're still doing it. They're still pimping and hoeing.
Some people be pimping all around the world.
They go on the circuit.
Pimping's gotten, it's like jet setting.
Yeah, they
nowadays.
call it.
Now you be pimping in all these cities. You be flying around.
They go work the track in all these different areas.
Yeah, it's like a whole thing. If you don't watch soft white underbelly, I recommend it, but it's not for the weak-hearted, right? I mean, some of the subject matter is pretty intense.
It's like going on tour.
But it is very interesting stuff.
With your genitals.
What?
Yeah, the pimp tracks or the tracks.
I don't think I would make a girl. I've always wanted to be a madam in a legal brothel. I think I could really run a tight ship.
I would be a
I'm a savvy businesswoman.
I'd be a compassionate pimp.
You would?
Yeah.
You'd be a nice pimp.
Yeah. I would only punch him in the stomach and the top of the head so he didn't leave bruises.
What is wrong with you? You are ridiculous.
Just saying.
You know, somebody's going to take that out of context one day.
Oh, okay.
Just like when I said I would hit a kid that was attacking me.
And I said I would kick that same kid.
Yeah, we're gonna get canceled, dude.
Okay.
Can't be saying stuff like that, apparently. All right. So during the investigation, officers found 8 pills that they determined were Suboxone and a white powder that tested positive for fentanyl. They also arrested a second person in connection with the case, but they have not released that person's name. Miller is being held without bond at the J. Reuben Long Detention Center.
Now let me ask you a serious question. When it comes to something like prostitution, which I think 2 consenting adults should actually be able to agree to a transactional situation for sex. I mean, it's their bodies, right? And then they'll say, well, you know, but it's illegal. And I've said it before, until you what if they're cheating on their wife or, you know.
Look, I'm not here to make moral decisions
right
for these people.
Well, I'm saying if I get caught going to a prostitute trying to pay her for sex, they can arrest me for, you know, solicitation or whatever and take me to jail. But if I bone the girl at my office, you can't arrest me. You see what I'm saying?
Well, no, I was just thinking the same thing.
So unless you criminalize the other, then how are you criminalizing this one thing? Okay. But some of the people who are doing this, the sex workers, for instance, they're often, you know, are they all victims is what I'm trying to ask. Or are they simply choosing, you know, oftentimes you'd be like, well, they're from broken homes and they got a crippling drug addiction, this and that, which is probably true in many cases. But, I mean, there's also it's their personal choice. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, you have what people would call like the high-end escorts.
Right.
That are charging, you know, $2,000 an hour.
That's crazy.
And they're paying their way through, you know, medical school or something.
Right.
Yeah.
But, I mean, maybe they just like that easy money, which I don't think it's easy, but I guess it's fast money.
Well, they do. I mean, I've watched many a documentary on sex work. I do find it interesting, the way brothels are ran in foreign countries. You know, it's not uncommon to have brothels in Europe that are legal. You know, and it's interesting, I guess, to see the ways that sex work operates, like in a legal brothel versus like street work versus people who are, you know, using the internet, and the people willing, you know, the workers who are willing to take $20 versus the worker who's like, you're going to pay me $2,000 to show up.
Right.
Right. I mean, so it's definitely a spectrum. But I think, I agree with you, Dylan. I believe it should be legalized. And I think that way it's regulated, it's taxed, your workers are safe They're in a safe environment.
They're keeping most of their earnings.
They're able to keep most of their earnings. They're not on the streets. Again, I think just safety-wise, they're paying taxes, being tested. I mean, all the things that should happen. And then you're eliminating the pimp. And I often wonder if that would cut down on sex trafficking.
Right, because there'd be no market.
Right, if it's
Right.
legalized.
Yeah.
I mean, there probably would still be a market, but I'm just saying I think it could possibly cut out some of that, maybe.
Well, no, I mean, you can honestly make a direct comparison to marijuana in states where it's illegal.
Right.
There still are illegal markets, but they're much smaller, obviously, because people have the option of buying it legally.
Well, now oftentimes people who are buying it illegally, it's because they're buying it from the legal market. Like someone is going to Colorado and picking up the product and bringing it and selling it.
Right. But see, you can't do that
Right.
with a sex worker.
You can't bring them from Colorado and
Well, you can't go buy sex and then go pass it off somewhere else.
you're not you're not supposed to cross state lines.
Nah,
and
but
stuff.
do you remember the Bunny Ranch on HBO?
Yeah.
Dude, those girls were making like $150,000, $200K a year.
Well, do you remember Dolly Parton's Best Little Whorehouse in Texas?
Well, yeah.
That chicken ranch, I mean, she was, them girls wasn't allowed to have tattoos. They couldn't put their elbows on the table.
Oh, gosh.
They had to use manners.
It was respectable, guys.
They was respectable.
I mean, that's...
No, I remember that. There was the Cat House. It was like the HBO docuseries.
Yeah, with that greasy guy, Dennis.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, oh, we love Dennis. And it's like, no, you don't. You're just, dealing with him so you can work at this legal brothel in Nevada or whatever. I think it really proved your point about they're safer. They're constantly tested, which is better for everybody, including the customers. And they're in a controlled environment with protection, security, and
there's like a menu that they roll out.
Yeah, and it's not cheap.
Everything's negotiated like up front, so you don't have to worry about how you're going to get paid or who's going to pay you or if you're going to get paid.
Yeah, and it's not cheap at all.
It's not.
No, not from the prices I was hearing them throw around.
I don't remember really.
Oh yeah,
because that was just 20 years ago. But
no.
Okay, interesting. Right, so craziness at Myrtle Beach. And then, Dylan, this brings us to an Asheville, North Carolina story because, honestly, this is another story that's just, like, kind of mind-blowing. A man is charged with murder after a woman was found dead inside a vehicle along Interstate 26 early Tuesday, September 23rd. Police say 41-year-old Kenneth Lontrell Christian is charged with first-degree murder after officers found 50-year-old Carly Elizabeth Johnson dead in a vehicle along 26. This was just before exit 33, known as Brevard Road. Officers responded to a report of a disabled vehicle around 3:23 a.m. when they discovered the female passenger deceased, having suffered, quote, a serious assault.
Damn.
Asheville Police Captain Joe Silberman described the scene as grisly. He says it wasn't just a disabled vehicle, but the woman was badly assaulted and that there was a man on the scene too. The male driver, who is identified as Christian, was taken into custody after some negotiations with officers. They believe the assault occurred around that vehicle. They believe it was a tool from inside the vehicle that was used. And they do believe they have the right suspect in custody at the present time.
Damn, so he's literally caught red-handed. Man, it's too bad they didn't get there before he assaulted this poor girl.
Well, from what I have learned, from the internet, she was an enrolled member. She was an Eastern Band of Cherokee Indian, so she was an enrolled member. And I'm curious about what this tool was. Like, so a tool inside the car, I mean, that makes me, was it like a tire iron or something, or a jack? I mean, that's pretty fucking horrible.
Yeah, I mean, whatever it was obviously not good. And I just, it makes you wonder what led up to this and what's wrong with this person who's going to beat a poor woman to death right there on the side of the road.
Yeah. And that's a very well-traveled road, very busy. And that exit, the Brevard Road exit, is a very busy exit off of 26.
And it makes me wonder if someone did indeed see something, they're not sure what was
Right.
going on to draw their attention enough to call and say, hey, y'all need to check out this car on the side of the road.
Absolutely wild. This marks the fourth homicide that the Asheville Police Department has investigated so far this year. Now, Dylan, we need to discuss David or D4vd.
No,
David?
people are saying David.
It's David?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what they're saying.
The TikTok sensation singer. There was a body that has now been identified as Celeste Rivas, found in the trunk of his vehicle, his impounded Tesla. Right?
Right.
The 15-year-old girl was discovered in his Tesla trunk, and she has been released to her family for memorial services. The county coroner confirmed that her body was released to her relatives on September 23rd, and the news comes shortly after Rivas' family spoke about her death. They organized a GoFundMe. She was a beloved daughter, sister, cousin, and friend, so they're trying to raise money for her funeral. This is a very strange case. So far, no one has been arrested. Robbery Homicide Division of the LAPD served a search warrant at 1300 Doheny Place in LA in connection with the death. This is the home reportedly associated with David. That's the Hollywood Hills address where he's been staying. They took several items of evidence. They're going to be analyzed in the coming days. Investigators are following up on multiple leads. What's interesting to me, though, is, okay, so he's not been arrested. They're not saying he's a suspect.
Some reports claim on the internet, not verified by me, that they've said he's not a suspect.
He's fully cooperating with authorities.
Right.
Here's my thing, though. If any of us, me, you, any of our listeners, the layperson, right? Somebody finds a dead body in the trunk of our car. Do you think we're still going to be walking around like, la, la, la? I just don't think that that's going to happen if a dead body is found in the trunk of my car.
Now, it makes me wonder, maybe we'll find this out here next week or very soon, because I'm sure her family wants answers. I mean, here's this poor 15-year-old girl dead in the trunk of a car. I mean, that's just a terrible, terrible way to have your loved one found. Maybe they know something we don't. Maybe they have a lead on another suspect. But if they're building a case before they grab him and charge him, we've heard of that before as well. But as many people pointed out, he has money. He has a passport. How is that not considered a flight risk, right?
He was on tour. I believe he had to cancel his tour dates, or he's chosen to cancel the tour dates.
Right. So, I mean, that's very, very strange, and I'd be interested in see how this plays out.
Not to mention the other aspect, which I feel like media is failing to discuss, is the fact that she's very much a minor.
Yeah.
And he's a grown man. She's been a runaway. She's been missing. And there's some evidence that she was living with him. He had a song that was, I guess, unreleased, but people have found it or something that he's singing about Celeste. They have these matching tattoos.
Yeah, I know. And supposedly she was home and then gone for a month or more, and then recovered by authorities, brought back home, and then disappeared again. So I get your point. If he's admitted to any type of relationship with this girl,
why
are you not getting him on statutory rape charges
arrested?
At least?
Yeah.
Because I think there's no way around that. It seems something inappropriate certainly happened between him and this girl.
Right.
I mean,
and from my understanding, she first started to run away when she was 13. So she was very much a child running away, and she's still very much underage, and he's an adult, and I just think that's really shady. And why are we not talking about that? Because he's a predator.
Yeah, I know. It's not okay.
It's gross.
And these kids, and sometimes they're escaping horrific homes, and sometimes They're just hard-headed and don't want to listen.
Yeah, sometimes they're groomed by a creep.
And sometimes they're groomed by a creep and convinced to leave the protection of their loved ones in their home. But it always makes me sad when I hear about young people that do this, because they're opening themselves up to so much danger, and they're just wide-eyed, and they don't know what kind of situations they can find themselves in. And it's just a very sad thing.
It is a very sad thing. So let's end our episode, Dylan, by discussing a California man who spent 38 years in prison for a crime he didn't commit was just awarded $25 million, marking the largest wrongful conviction settlement in state history, per the Associated Press.
How much?
$25 million.
Damn.
Maurice Hastings was wrongfully convicted in the 1983 sexual assault and murder of Roberta Weidmeyer. So this has been like a decades-long battle. Of course, he says that no money could ever restore the 38 years of his life that was stolen from him. But, he's really hoping that this settlement can help him move on with his life. He's got a long road ahead of him. 38 years is a long time.
That's most of your adult life.
So in 83, Weidermeyer was found shot in the head with evidence of sexual assault. Hastings was convicted and sentenced to life in prison without parole, despite biological evidence collected at the time of the autopsy. He requested DNA testing in 2000, but the LA District Attorney's Office denied it. Hastings submitted a formal claim of innocence to the DA's Conviction Integrity Unit in 2021. DNA testing later confirmed that the semen did not match Hastings, but instead matched Kenneth Packnett, a convicted felon who had committed a similar crime involving an armed kidnapping and sexual assault. Packnett had been arrested just weeks after Weidermeyer's death for an unrelated car theft. During this time, police found jewelry and a coin purse matching items belonging to Weidermeyer, but he was never investigated for the murder, and Packnett died in prison in 2020.
So how in the world do you bring a case against someone and not test the biological matter found during autopsy? Make that make sense.
Well, at the time, I guess in 83, there wasn't the testing, but I don't understand why, when DNA and forensics advanced, why would a district attorney deny testing these items? It seems to me that you would want to test it to prove you have the right person behind bars.
We see this a lot, and I really do think it's a monetary thing. They don't want to admit that they were wrong, right? They got that conviction. It looks good on their record. They always say we have the right person. We know we have the right person. And they're reluctant to do anything that may jeopardize that very point. And it also opens up people to this very thing, wrongful incarceration suits or whatever you call it.
Which we're talking about the cost of testing DNA. Well, you just had to pay $25 million. So, that $25 million that you're going to pay this guy could go a long way to exonerating some inmates and testing DNA, rape kits. Yeah.
I don't understand it. I just don't. That should be, they should want to make sure they got the right person, right? It shouldn't just be about a victory or a conviction percentage or ego or getting reelected the next term or any of that. It should be about justice.
In 2022, Hastings' conviction was vacated at the request of prosecutors and his attorneys. A judge declared him, quote, factually innocent in 2023, meaning the evidence conclusively proved he did not commit this crime.
Stole a man's entire life, youthful years from him.
His attorneys say that he is now living in Southern California and is active in his church.
That money's not going to, gosh, all that time. And not only that.
It's more than half this man's life.
All your youthful years.
Yeah.
Your 20s, your 30s. And the money doesn't replace that time that you lost. It might help a little bit in the end, but could you imagine spending all those years and days in prison for something you truly didn't commit?
No, it's terrible.
It's like a living nightmare, a waking nightmare.
Well, it's an injustice that affects all of us because each and every one of us trust in our justice system. We trust in a jury of our peers. We're trusting in evidence and not just physical evidence. I mean, we're trusting in all the things, and it just goes to show that, honestly, any of us could be accused of a crime and found guilty.
You really can.
It's really terrifying.
You really can. If you have, say, a not so great defense attorney and you have a good prosecutor who just presents well in court, and all that, you can very easily end up, convicted of something you didn't do. And once that conviction's laid down, it is very, very hard to get it reversed.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen it before where there's actually not just sentiment that you might be guilty, but you start getting pieces of fact and evidence, and still they don't want to let go of that. And sometimes you'll see it keeps going in front of the same judges or inside of a state, and you're not getting any help. And once it gets outside of that area, they very quickly, say a federal court or something like that, and they find in your favor. And I don't think that's right. I really think there should be some kind of truly objective committee or system that's like another layer in our justice system. And I know we got appellate courts and things like that, but sometimes you can't even get past that first step to be allowed to move on up the ladder, right? Because
it's true.
Some of these people, and it's a tough job they do, some of them will not admit when they're wrong. Even after it all comes out, they'll still say, they just try to play it off.
Which brings me to our exciting new series, our new Patreon series. We are going to be doing the deepest dive on the West Memphis 3 case.
I cannot wait.
This is going to be a multi-part series on Patreon. There are going to be, like I said, multi-part episodes. We are going to get down to the nitty-gritty. We are going to be examining every aspect of this case and really breaking it down for you. It's a case that has fascinated me for a long time. I know you have been interested in this case, and it's a case that I think divides people. I still see a lot of folks online who are like, they're guilty as hell. These boys did it. They're so guilty. And then you have this camp of, what are you talking about? They're innocent. So we're going to break it all down. But as you mentioned, just these lawyers and judges, you really can go to prison based on zero evidence.
You can. And look, I know what some of our listeners may be thinking, oh, really? The West Memphis 3, blah, blah, blah. I saw that, decades ago, and I've seen all kinds of stuff online. I've got to tell you, Heather's very excited about this. She's digging deeper than ever in her true Heather fashion.
I'm reading like 3 books right now.
I have already
We've been watching documentaries.
I've already learned more than one new aspect of this case, if you will, and it will blow you away. And we're also, into some degree, going to go into what was the Satanic Panic, because I really do think, even though it began many years before this, and this was kind of the tail end of the Satanic Panic, I really do think that played a role in this case.
Oh, absolutely.
The attitude,
it certainly did.
The assumptions made about people who are different or weird.
Well, with this case, Dylan, it is one of those where it becomes difficult to separate fact from fiction.
Right.
A lot of times you have a lot of rumors that are unsubstantiated, but somehow seem to be, I guess, just sort of in the air floating around, that people think these rumors are true. So again, it's difficult with this case to separate what's fact and what's fiction. So we're going to break it all down for you. Honestly, this is going to be the deepest dive on this case. You're going to learn so much. So if you're interested, you want to check us out at patreon.com/Mountain Murders Podcast. You can join for the cost of a cup of coffee.
You can.
And get all of the bonus material, ad-free episodes. And you are not going to want to miss this, because I'm telling you, bro, it's wild out here.
And to the people who are already lovely enough to support us there at Patreon, patrons, get ready. This is going to be a hoot. Not even sure how many parts it's going to have. It's going to be some great discussions, and we cannot wait to get started.
We're also going to be attending the Carolinas Horror Fest. It's not too far away, Dylan.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait.
The Carolinas Horror Fest is a horror convention. It's going to be located in Asheville, North Carolina on October 4th of 2025. They're going to feature horror guests, exhibitors, and they're even having a cosplay contest, Dylan.
Yeah, and if you come by, their main attraction is the fact that you can meet Mountain Murders.
Mountain Murders will be attending the Carolinas Horror Fest. We're going to have some goodies, some stickers, not only from Mountain Murders, but from some of our other Darkcast Network podcasts to hand out to our listeners and to the folks who want to come by and meet us. It's going to be October 4th at the Haywood Park Hotel in Asheville from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Admission is $20, but kids under 11 can get in for free.
And I was just kidding about us being billed as a main attraction, but we would love to meet some fellow horror true crime fans. So, you might be going anyway. If you are, I can't wait to see you, and we're going to dap it up.
We're getting to, this is really cool, Dylan. We're going to have cosplay. There's going to be comic books, movies, horror guests, toys, posters, apparel, horror candy, jewelry, makeup. And they're also going to have a roster of horror industry professionals and fandom-related celebrities. They're going to have meet and greets. This is going to be a show you do not want to miss. If you are anywhere near Asheville, you should come out and spend the day. Some of the guests include Paul T. Taylor, who played Pinhead.
Oh my gosh, I'm fanboying.
Hellraiser Judgment.
Yes.
Actor Tony Moran, who is the OG Michael Myers from Halloween.
The original?
The original.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so excited because Halloween is definitely one of my faves.
Yeah, it's got to be in, I would say, most horror fans' top 5, maybe top 3, surely, right?
We're going to have the Scream Girls, Leonora Scelfo and Nancy Ann Ritter. Author and writer Nancy Collins. She has written Swamp Thing, the Vampirella series, and other horror novels. We're getting actor James Stokes Vornis, who I guess is in some of the Jason Voorhees. He's played Jason Voorhees a time or two.
Oh my God, we got Michael Myers there. We got Jason Voorhees and Pinhead.
We're going to have some horror panels. That's going to be cool. Of course, all the vendors. I love to go to these things just so I can get myself some cool gear.
Oh, yeah. You'll see
some T-shirts.
You see so many creative people and they have a shared love for something. Any convention or con you go to, it's so great to see people come together like that and just to be amongst people like them.
And I'm also really excited for the cosplay. I love cosplayers. I wish I was good at it. I'm not great at making costumes and stuff like that, but I admire people who really get into it. And I'm just super thrilled to see what people show up. I can't wait to see what people are dressing like.
Yeah, but I'm really good at taking pictures with very talented people.
There you go. Well, Mountain Murders, we're not only going to be there, but we're going to do some live streams. We'll be broadcasting some from the event. We're going to have a lot of pictures. So if you come by our table, say hi, introduce yourself. Maybe we'll get a selfie with you and post it on our social medias, maybe on the gram. You never know.
You'll have to use a wide angle lens for my head.
For his chest.
And my
For his
chest.
big musket. Maybe if you come by, Dylan will let you touch his chest.
I'll let you poke it.
He'll let you gently touch it.
Oh, no, you can.
He doesn't want you to hurt your hand.
You can hit me, but you'll have to sign a release form first.
We don't want you to break your hand.
Right.
Just gingerly caress him.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah. Okay. Hey, yeah, I'll bring some Diddy oil.
Oh, gosh. I didn't know it was going to be that kind of convention.
Yeah, we'll have a horror off.
A horror off?
A horror off.
A horror off?
No.
That's what it sounds like to me.
All right, so
To the untrained ear, it sounds like a horror off.
And we got the spooky month of we got one more episode, right?
Yeah, we have our episode that will be coming out next week. That will be our final episode for September, featuring back to school crimes. Got a very interesting case for you. It's one that I was not aware of this case, so I'm eager to discuss it with you, Dylan.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good discussion. And then we will be heading into October, where we will have horror movie midweeks.
That's going to be a blast.
We will be taking cases that true stories, cases that have been turned into movies, and we'll be discussing like how they translate from real life to screen, the details of the real life story, and then we'll talk a little bit about the horror film and how it's portrayed. So I think that's going to be fun.
Okay, so I can't wait. We better let everybody take a nap because we got so much to do.
Okay, sure.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.